Hey guys, now if you're interested in getting into laser engraving as a small business or as a side hustle, I have a laser to share with you today. Today we're taking a look at the Monport G Pro 30-watt split MOPA fiber laser. And this is a laser engraver that is ultra fast and really is going to be about engraving metal as well as other materials that are going to be really easy to position if you're looking to open up a small business for laser engraving. For example, here I have a bottle opener, and this bottle opener that you see right here was engraved on the laser, and this is just one of the settings that I have used on it. And if you think about this for a wedding favor or a party favor, or if you're at a trade show, you'd like to be able to give these things to clients. These are the type of, I would say, knickknacks or tchotchkes that I'm talking about that you see all over Etsy and other, I would say, marketplaces that people are selling. And they use a laser like the Monport G Pro 30-watt split MOPA to create them. And you get different features or looks. Like, so on this side, you can see what this looks like right here. And if I flip it over, it has another look right here. And I almost think that this is kind of like a stealth look because it's kind of like shaded, but not so much, and it pops up. Well, we have a lot of products that we've reviewed and engraved that are laser based. And I want to share with you why this is such a great option for those of you who are looking for speed, something that's easy to use, and also just creates an incredible quality. I'm going to share with you several projects that I went through, and we're going to talk about the specs and features, and you're going to see it in action. And it is sparkle fast. There's a lot of sparkles in this video, but that's what lasers are all about. So let's get right to it. So let's talk about the specs for the Monport G Pro 30-watt split MOPA laser. And this thing is fast. We're talking about 10,000 millimeters per second fast. And that means that it's going to complete projects super quick. And this is important when you're running a small business because for me, one of the models of our small business is having something that's repeatable, something that is fast, and something that requires little prep and no finish. That's what we really focus on. And really, this falls in that space. So you have that really, really fast engrave. And then we look at things that are going to be precise. They're going to give you high resolution. And if you think about that, look at the fine point for this laser. We're talking about 0.01 millimeters. That's going to give you some really fine detail, clean engraves that are going to look spectacular and professionally done. You also have focusing, which is really important with laser engraving. It has a 3-point focusing system that with just simply moving a knob, you're able to move it up and down really easily. And I got to tell you, I've received a lot of lasers, and most of the lasers, when they come in, they have to be calibrated. This it required no calibration. I literally was going through one of the calibration tests to see if the actual framing of the image and the engraving of the image aligned. And I did a framing test and I was like, well, where is the mark? And it was already there. It was just underneath the framing image. And it was so precise that I had no calibration needed whatsoever. You'll see this when we're actually looking at the laser itself so you can understand this. But with every laser, there is some type of red line, blue line that is outlining what you're going to engrave. And sometimes when you engrave, what you see being marked and where the actual laser engraving takes place may not be 100% spot on. And that's not the case with the specific laser. It was 100% in the right place, which I was very excited with. Now, the other thing that sets a MOPA laser apart from standard lasers is that it's capable of creating color. So we're going to see some color samples, and we're going to see those in action when we take a close look at the laser engraver. It also has a very large engraving area, 175 by 175 marking area. And that's going to give you a lot of flexibility for some really large items. So if you think about large Yetis or think about some of the stainless steel products that we're looking at that I was showing you, those are going to fit without a problem. Now, this specific laser is focused on metal and some non-metal products. So for example, if you want to engrave stainless steel, it's going to do it. If you're looking to do aluminum, it's going to do it. This is incredible for jewelry, gold, silver, alloys, ceramic, marble. It will do marble as well. And then if you're looking at leather, guess what? It does leather too. And you're going to see some leather samples. It also will do acrylic, and it's also going to be able to do slate. So slate coasters are hot. I see a lot of slate coasters being sold. If you look in the marketplaces, those are being sold pretty often, and this does a fantastic job, and you're going to see some of the samples I have as well. It will do plastics, and it will do colored acrylic. So that's something that's also something that's really, really popular as well. So let's take a look at some of the samples I have here, and then we'll take a look at the laser in action, and we'll go over some of the features, because really, this is about small business that becomes from a side hustle to your primary hustle. We're talking about serious income coming in with something like this. Now take a look at some of the examples or some of the engraves that I ran. And you've been seeing throughout this video the actual images and video of the engraving of these items on the Monport MOPA 30W Fiber Laser. And let's start with the very first one that we were talking about, and that's this one right here. So this is a stainless steel bottle opener, and I ran 2 settings on it. One of them, this is actually an engrave, and it went pretty deep in here. It is actually, it's not a superficial mark. These are actually engraved, so it's actually removing material. And what you can see here is that this material has been removed, the area that was engraved. And then what we did is we ran something that's called an annealing process that just finishes it so that it's as it was before it was engraved, and then it prevents any kind of rusting, right? So you'll notice right here this look, it's kind of really, really cool looking look there. And this came out really, really nice. And if you notice on this side, this is a different type of engrave. You'll notice that it is black, right? And what I was doing is I was also annealing this after I engraved it. Typically, when you engrave it, you could be almost like sandpapery when you touch it. And what you want to do is you want to finish it again so that you don't get the rusting that typically has when you remove surface material from stainless or any kind of steel. So this is, you can see how nice that looks as well. Now, the other thing that we did was we did slate. Slate is big. There's a lot of slate kind of purchases that go on. And you can see here, this is, we have 3 Pomeranians and we're a dog home, and my wife refers to herself as a dog mom. We have human kids too, but we have the dogs. And you can see here we have all day, every day, dog mom. And this was done on this laser. Now, you're going to see throughout this entire video the use of jigs, and links to the jigs are also going to be in the video footer. But you'll notice what we did right here, and you can see how nice that looks and the quality that we have there. Now, we also did leather, right? So we took that same image and we engraved it on this piece of leather. Now, this is a leather patch that can be used on a jacket, on a backpack. This could go on a hat, right? Hats, the business of hats, big, big, big business. I can't say big anymore, but it's big business. There are a lot of, you look at, you know, next time you go to work or you're on the train or somewhere public, look at how many people are wearing hats and how many of them have a leather patch attached to the hat. You could do that. That's business that you could be running and making money on. And you can see the quality right here that we have in this patch. Gorgeous, gorgeous, very clean, high definition. The other thing, dog tags. Massive, massive, massive. So you can see these dog tags right here. Gorgeous. And the cool thing about this is that these were all engraved at the very same time. So notice we have, call my people, I'm lost. And then you have a phone number there. And we put the Monport logo just to show that this was done with the Monport laser. White, beautiful, fast. And again, this is also something that's really popular. And the cool thing about this is that this is not a product. Dog tags, and most of the products I'm showing you right here, while this bottle opener can be for any kind of event, for wedding, sports event, for trade shows, you can use this. The dog tags are not seasonal. It's not about Christmas. It's not about New Year's. It's not about Valentine's Day. People need dog tags all the time. Massive, massive opportunities here. And look at how, just the quality and how great these look. Love the look. Now, this is something that's special event, and this I love too. All right, because this is, again, a fiber laser, it can actually mark, but it can also engrave. It can cut into metal. So what these are is, so this is a jig for cufflinks. These are popular. This is a cufflink for a wedding event. Let me go ahead and put it up here so you can see. Let's see if that gets on focus. Look how beautiful that looks, right? So that was engraved on the Monport as well. Fantastic, fantastic look. And here's another symbol that we're going to have right there. Check that one out. Beautiful, right? So these are two options right there. Again, another great opportunity for some type of side hustle and business. And, as we take a look at, we're going to be moving to the actual laser. A couple of things that I'll highlight with this laser. I put this in the business class. This type of laser is, I don't want to call it industrial, but it is a business class laser. It's not a hobbyist laser. And that's why you're going to get this kind of results. It's larger in footprint, but it's also super quiet. When I was running it, you don't really hear when it's on that it's on. You see lights are on, but you don't see that it's on. And then when you run it, it typically stays quiet up to the point that it's requiring a lot of power. Once it starts requiring a lot of power, then you'll hear some cooling going on, but it's more like white noise to no noise. This is how quiet this machine is. The other thing I would say is that this is, again, focused on a specific material type. So if you are someone who's looking to get into, let's say, jewelry making or any of the materials that I have here, any kind of metals, acrylics that we talked about, colored acrylics, not clear acrylic, although there's things that you can do with clear acrylic, like painting them to get them engraved. You could do mirrors, the back of mirrors with this as well. There's just a lot of possibilities. But this is going to be the type of laser that is supported by a product called Lightburn or EasyCAD. My preference is Lightburn. And it's going to give you, again, a lot of professional, I would say, grade type engraving. The other thing that I will say is that another business that we do a lot of is pens, laser engraving pens. So for businesses, again, people give pens out all the time. If you're an attorney, a realtor, if you are let's say someone who deals with carpentry, if you're an electrician, anyone who is in business likes to give away a pen and to have their name and their phone number on their name of the business and then the phone. That's something that this will be able to do, and it does it fast. We're talking seconds to do these engraves. So if you're looking for that type of business, the one thing this will not do is wood, right? This is not going to be for wood, or I would say, even though, I would say just the woods is the things that I would say this is not going to be there. You're fine with this laser. So there's a full list of all of the type of materials that it will engrave, but you'll notice that it's very flexible and it's going to give you a lot of options. And again, it's going to go into the option, or at least my criteria, of doing things fast with little prep and no finish. So guys, that wraps up our review. See you in the next video. Now your laser is going to come in a very large crate. It's actually a wood crate, and it's made up of 3 pieces. Actually, I would say probably 4. So first, you have this thing right here, which looks like a PC, but it's not. This is your main processor. This is your main power system as well. And it has a key that you use to turn it on, a button that you use to turn on the laser, and then an emergency stop that you can use in the event that you need to stop the laser, like in a hurry, where you just, you do a pop. Now, in addition to that, you have your bed, and your bed is metal. It's heavy duty. You have you notice that area here where it has numbers on it. You're going to see this in a couple seconds, but you raise and lower it with a dial, and it has a couple dots. And you notice right here that I have been doing some tests where all these dots are 1. If I turn it or crank it in one way or the other, the dots are going to separate. Right? Now you'll notice I have a jig here, and I kind of like making jigs because it makes things easier. So I have an extractor that I have there, and then I have a jig that's holding this koozie. And for example here, one of the things that you'll see in addition to the samples that we showed you earlier is that the MOPAs are able to do color. Now, it all depends on the material, on the steel type, and you're going to have to run material tests. But you can see here a couple colors that we were able to get already. This is supposed to be more of a pink, and depending on the lighting that I hit, this one right here does reflect like a pink. You also then have, this is supposed to be more of a blue. You have, this is supposed to be like more of a yellow, and so forth. So each one of these is supposed to be different colors. This is something that you can dial in and you can experiment with. Now, the cool thing about having a jig like this is that when I'm done with this product, I just take it out, and then I just slide in the next product that I'm going to engrave, just like that. And one of the things that we're going to be doing here is we're going to be engraving a koozie, because this machine, not only does it do amazingly well, as you saw with actual metal, but it could do leather as well. I showed you one leather sample, but we're going to do a 2-tone koozie And you're going to see that how it works in real time. Now, the other piece that we have in addition to this one, we talked about the base, we talked about this, is the actual head itself. And you notice the head right here, basically, has two components to it. It has a lens, it has the laser, and then it basically has an alignment. So you have these red dots. You can see my hand right there where there are 3 dots. When you get them to align, they basically show just one dot in that place. Now, one of the things I like about this laser is that I did very little setup when I received it. So typically when you get a laser of this type, you have to do a test. You see this box right here? This is basically, you draw a rectangle in Lightburn and you run your engrave. And what you want to do is you want to see if this light, because this light will show you the outline of what you're going to engrave and the actual engraving itself, if they are in the same spot. If not, you have to adjust it. I will tell you, this laser was 100% spot on. I didn't have to do anything, no adjustment whatsoever, and I love that it was ready out of the box. So that was a really, really positive experience. Now, something else that I designed, just to make this experience a little bit better, is I designed this light. This light isn't part of this laser. This is actually a 3D printed part with a cob light that basically lights up my area, my work area, because it makes it a lot easier. And then, you know, obviously my duct, all that, this stuff is 3D printed. So everything was created right here. The other thing that I'm doing is I'm testing this out to see if this will work with the generator. So, I have to say it does. So it's been consuming, in its power off state, just like this, it's consuming 28 watts of power just by having it on. But you're able to use a 1,000-watt generator, and they're very small. 1,000 watt isn't big. And you're able to use this if you go to a trade show, as long as you have the right enclosures and you don't expose this to the public, and the right venting system, you'd be able to move this and make this a mobile solution. Now, this is going to give you a better look at the lighting system that I've designed, and then also the lens itself. So this is a 254 lens, and it's going to cover a pretty wide area, as you can see here. There's really nothing that you have to do here outside of if you want to move it forward or back, depending on the engraving area that you want. Right now, I have it positioned more or less where I want it to be. And if I were to tilt this way, you can see here is the actual, you know, level that's telling me how high or how low the actual laser is. This one came pre-calibrated, and there's a little pre-calibration sticker here that tells me what's the optimal calibration point, and all I have to do is match it with what I have right here if I'm going to be engraving something, embossing materials or anything like that. Now let's take a look at the laser from the side, and we'll see some of the adjustment points. Now here at the very top is your adjustment. You crank to the left or to the right to lower or raise the actual laser. And then what you see right here is you have this knob that you use to basically lock it into place so that it doesn't move. Now here you'll see the wire, the USB cable that comes across, and this is my little switch right here that allows me to turn on and off the light. And that's USB powered, which is really nice. On the back here, you'll notice that you do have the same measurement that you can see depending on when you're, or how you're raising it, if you're looking at the laser or if you're in behind, which I really like. And then as we go back here, you can see all the details on the laser about the machine, you know, the manufacturing date, all the details right here, the engraving area, the type of mirrors that it comes with, the offset. I don't know if these are done by machine, you know, as they're manufactured. It may be, because it says that this one was manufactured on 6/6/2024. So this is a recent model. The calendar date for this review is August. So this is just a couple of months old, right? And then you can see how nicely everything, all the cabling here is done really nicely. I don't really see any issues with things that are going on here. And there's some accessory ports here that you would use for, you know, for different accessories, either the rotary or a pedal to enable or disable the laser. Now this laser works with 2 different types of softwares. It's either going to be EasyCAD, or in this case, what I have here is Lightburn. And with Lightburn, you have to pay for the software. There's a version that you have to pay an extra amount for in order to use Galvo lasers. And then you're going to get so many upgrades, but then if you want to continue to get upgrades, then there's a small upgrade fee that you have to pay. This is, if you're running a business, this is the premier solution for creating laser engravable goods. So this is a must-have. And again, this is what we're talking about here. And I'm going to show you how you can make a koozie, which is something that a lot of people purchase. It's something that you see for golf events. It's something that you see for Halloween parties, and you're going to see the one that we're making here. So what I have going on here is I have my image that is right here. So you can see that. I have my layer that I've defined with my settings. And one of the things I can do here is I can frame to see how the object looks. Now, the cool thing about this laser is that you're going to see a box, and we're going to go over here for a second, and you'll be able to see this little box, that area right there, that is set, showing you where the actual engraving is going to take place. Now, let me go ahead and put this in position right here because I wanted you to see this engraving, and we're going to try to time this as well. So you can see how everything looks here. I have one other setting that I can have in Lightburn where I can say frame individually. And when I do framing individually, it's kind of giving me the actual objects themselves, right? Because there's a cat, there's all these things that are going on here. So what I'm going to be doing now is showing me where everything's going to go, but this still is pretty much where I wanted to go. Now, this jig that I have here, if I am doing 25, 50, or 100 koozies, makes it really easy to have them all in the exact same position, everything is aligned. So all I have to do is just swap this out. And literally, I have a friend of mine who just did over 100 koozies for a golf event using this jig and was just swapping out the koozies, getting them all done. This is a great small business offering. All right, now what I'm going to attempt to do is try to hit this button and the start button at the same time. So let's see if I can get this done so you can see how fast this engraves. Let's do that. 3, 2, 1. Ooh, I think I got it. Now watch how quick this laser is engraving. You can see how magnificent, how beautiful that koozie is going to look. Let's get a little bit closer so you can see that. So again, great for a small business offering. And one of the things I look at when I'm looking at a product for our store is to have an engraving, a solution that is quick, repeatable, low prep, and low finish. And watch how many seconds this is taking to do this koozie. Now imagine if you were doing, a large job. Look at the seconds and look at the quality of what you're getting there. Almost done. That's it. It was under 45 seconds to get that done. So we're going to stop that. And you have a fantastic looking product at the end. Let's go ahead and remove this. And look at there. Isn't that spectacular? That's what we're talking about. That is the power of a fiber. Not just metal, but also leather-like materials just like this. So guys, that wraps up our review. See you in the next video.